Fair point.
Hey, Himmel, where's the screen? Where's the screen?
The lens cap on.
Oh,
She's on her.
I didn't even. Okay, we're.
Disclaimer. This film contains instances of crude humor, vulgar language, mild violence, and stars a bunch of teenagers. Okay. End of disclaimer. Time for a dumb documentary.
So, first cross-country race is in about 4 days. How are you feeling about that? You think summer training's been paying off? You think you're prepared?
Oh yeah, I do think I am. Practice has definitely been helping, so that's always good.
I'd say I'm pretty prepared. I ran a lot during the summer, but I don't know what my limit is, so I don't want to burn out.
So this is the first race at Bob Jones for like the past 4 years.
It's a little short. It's only a 2 mile. It's completely flat.
Not even 2 miles.
It's not even 2 miles. Not even 2 miles. But there's a lot of concrete, so spikes are going to be limited if they're at all. I'm still deciding whether to wear mine or not.
You start in like the middle of the football field and you run 1 lap around, then you go back over through here and then run through the switchbacks through the soccer fields. And then you run back and you do a lap and you finish.
It's going to be a fun race. I'm just going to try and enjoy it. That's really my goal for the meet, to enjoy it and not run dumb.
The heat has definitely played a big role, so we'll have to see how that works on race day, but the anticipation is just building for the race.
Cross country. A time of excitement, companionship, struggle, triumph, and, of course, karaoke. With the Bob Jones cross country team larger and stronger than ever before, anticipation and excitement are through the roof for this first race. Today is Saturday, August 21st. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and the first group of racers are lined up ready to begin. First race this year, the athletes are feeling confident. This was just a warm-up to next week, and we've got 8 races until sectionals, and then after that there's state on November 6th. We've got 2 months of prep up until that point, but even that much time can sneak up on you. If athletes want a podium spot this year, they're gonna have to dig deep and work hard. Our next race is Scottsboro, and that's a big one. It's the varsity's first 5K and JV's first 2.1 mile. To beat the heat of the summer sun, the athletes have to race pretty early in the morning. And since Scottsboro is so far away from Madison, everyone has to wake up around 5 just to get there on time. It's rough. Riding the bus may not be the most comfortable thing in the world, but it's definitely not impossible to get some last-minute shut-eye. And should you choose to stay awake, you get the privilege of watching the sunrise over a beautiful landscape.
Y'all want to see me drink water with maximum intensity?
Yes!
All right.
Yes!
Yeah. Woo! How intense. What a rager we're having over here.
Well, the first mile, really fast, unexpectedly so. It didn't feel that fast, it was quite fast. Second mile, a little slower. Third mile kind of fell off a little bit, but I was trying to keep the pace.
It was pretty tough.
I was very sore the whole race. My legs were heavy. That's it. I ran an 18 flat, not very good, but come back stronger next week, and that's it.
With Scottsboro behind us, our athletes now know where they need to focus their efforts for the rest of the season. Times aren't bad, but they aren't good by any means either. They could use some improvement. All our athletes need is a fast course to really get those times down and the PRs up. And wouldn't you know it, another week has already passed. Now, as our athletes are getting shipped on to their next race, we realize that, unfortunately, it's Pisgah. This course may seem typical at a glance, but ask anyone who's run it and they'll tell you otherwise. With several downhills, uphills, sharp turns, and a high heat index, this race leaves many athletes split. Some love it and others dread it.
But if somebody tries something, don't get pushed around, all right? If you have to fight back, fight back. Don't be dirty. Don't be dirty unless you have to. But if you have to, it's completely understandable, all right? Because I've heard of kids like in other races over at Scottsboro, they get pushed off the course by a dirty kid. So just do what you need to, all right? Because some people don't play well. Some people don't. I do, because I like winning the right way. But some people don't. So if you get spiked or if somebody they're trying to shove you off the course, don't be afraid to fight back.
Father in heaven, thank thee for this opportunity that we have to run today. Thank thee for the good weather, and thank thee for this great team that we have. Please bless that we'll be protected as we run, and that we'll be able to use our talents to go fast, and if it be thy will, please bless that we'll be able to win. And we say these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. All right, boys, y'all know the chant. I don't need to tell y'all how to do that.
Let's get it, baby.
Yeah.
There is a silver lining to all of this hardship. It sure is good for winning t-shirts. After Pisgah, Coach Mack started two-a-day practices. Varsity runners are now going to have to get up early and run before school and after school, which makes sense because our next race is going to be a real doozy. But before we get to that, let's take a look at what practices are like for the Wolfpack this year. Every day after the final bell rings, the team leaves their classes and heads out into the south parking lot. They grab whatever they need and get ready for what Coach Mack has prepared for us that afternoon.
Matthew, it's going all day.
They're not jokes.
They're not funny.
These nuts in your mouth.
Shut up!
The point of a joke's really funny, Gary.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
What I'm gonna do
He's gonna be doing a lot.
is I'm gonna boil Gary's spinal fluid.
Oh, yeah?
Now, with this boiled spinal fluid, as it's boiling, I'm going to inhale the vapor, right? So that I can get the full effect of his spinal fluid in my body.
What else he gonna eat?
And then
guess what else he gonna eat? He gonna eat my nuts.
And this is why I'm gonna replace his spinal fluid with brake fluid, so that every time this wakes up in the morning, he's just impossible because of the air. And so that this guy, point the camera at him.
It ain't impossible to put these nuts in your mouth.
What? That didn't even make any sense. See, he's incoherently pissing himself at this point.
These nuts in your mouth.
They're not good anymore.
They're never good.
They never were.
They were never good.
They never had to be.
Relaxing while coloring?
Glass, because you're
Who told you? For the only downside of ultimate. Okay.
Alright, Matt.
Yo.
Just Borderlands idea. Just take a picture of my face.
I'm sitting here body.
And then you put it on like the front cover.
Nick, you're getting bullied.
Can you put my face just like on like the big poster thing? It's all I'm asking for. It's like just like this beautiful, glorious face.
He just wants his face.
Are you recording right now?
Yeah, I can do
No,
that.
yeah.
Okay. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's wonderful.
This is my boy Luke. This is my boy Isaac. Yeah.
Got anything else you want to elaborate on?
This is my boy Luke. This is my boy Isaac. Isaac Garrison. Put my balls in their mouth. Wait, where is Luke at?
Bro.
Alright. You know the drill. 2 laps and let's go do warm-ups. Alright.
After a good warm-up, there are 4 different types of practices the athletes can expect each day. First, we'll talk about morning practices, as were previously mentioned. These are often used as arm workouts, sled days, and short distance days. However, with the obvious fact that they take place before the school day, the athletes also have an afternoon practice to look forward to. Next up, track workouts. These are tough time trials that push our stamina to the limit. 400s, 800s, and 1000s galore. You'll definitely want to stretch after these. Distance runs are quite a different experience. These focus much more on endurance with nice scenery, a slower but still quick pace, conversations and jokes, and the occasional hilly route to keep things from being too flat. The routes can last anywhere from 4 miles to 6 or 7 miles. Great for prepping for those long 5Ks. And finally, we have the cool down runs and easy days. These are often what the team uses right before race day to get into the mindset and to wind down from the week of intense training beforehand. With all that out of the way, it's finally time for Chickasaw Trails.
You see how 6 minutes. That's good. You got strides, you got your warmed up, you should be feeling loose. It's a good day, guys. This is a good day to have a race, okay? I'll tell you real quick before he gets here and stuff. You know, you remember we started this? I came here about 2 years ago. Started believing, you know, you get back to, I'm gonna see you guys get back to that same point again, okay? You trained all through the week. This is more like a mental focus kind of thing today, okay? You know you got the ability to get out here and do this. You know your course. Most of you know this course. This is new and on you, I know. But hey, it is what it is. Try to hang with each other. Try to pack it if you can. I know we got various abilities today with some coming up injury, things like that. Let's just see how this shakes out today, okay? I mean, here's the thing. Try not to compare yourself with the other person, all right? Do your best, okay? Do your best. Work together and stuff. You should be fine, okay? But you look, it's like, go get them. You guys get that spirit, get nasty, get tight. Not nasty like trip somebody. I mean, you know, but you get determined, okay? Don't let anybody take this from you. You go ahead and get it to yourself, okay? Believe in yourselves, guys. I can't tell you how much more important this is. Where's that prayer guy? Let's go.
Number 7 from Bob Jones, Jake Bryan.
Do it again for the film. Do it for the vine. Preferably fall in the water spectacularly.
Not going after a duck in the water.
After packing up with heads held high, a familiar tune fills the inside of the bus.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the
until Gary decides to forget the lyrics of his own country's national anthem.
Wait, did we mess up? It's over the ramparts. Are you an American? I didn't mess up. You're not an American! Gary, for the land of the free and the home of the brave!
Alright, there we go.
Now, things are different. Our next race is the Southern Showcase at John Hunt Park this Friday, with the added benefit of allowing athletes to skip their last period of school. When the first few athletes arrive, it isn't even 3 p.m. yet, and the first few races won't even start prepping for a few hours. Thus, shenanigans arise.
Hey Wade, what was it like without Coach Mack?
It was different to say the least. I mean, if we're being honest, so, I mean, Matthew, you were here with Coach Goldsmith, but there was actually another coach for him. I've had like 4 different coaches in my entire cross-country career with Bob Jones. But before Coach Goldsmith, it was Coach Baker, right? And Coach Baker was a coach to say the least. And by that I mean he pushed you hard, sometimes a little too hard, but other times he was, I don't know, it's very complicated. I was only there my 7th grade year, but I initially wasn't going to come back. Then I realized Coach Goldsmith was coming, a new coach, and I was like, maybe I like this one more. Coach Mack was going to be the assistant coach for Coach Goldsmith, but then she got pregnant. And so then Coach Mack had to take over. We're talking like mid-season, just took over completely and did a very good job. all things considered,
That's
right?
why I have to move here.
Yeah, and that was he just moved here, so it was hard for him, right? So because he had to deal with moving in and coaching a team, so it was like, and all of his time was with us because she just kind of disappeared. So then, and now we've had, and also there was an assistant coach with Coach Goldsmith. It was Coach Yarbrough. That's why Coach Mack was introduced the next year. And then Coach Mack's been with us since.
I don't think that's Huntsville.
That is, they spell Huntsville on there.
No, it's not Huntsville. There's a G in there as well.
Go Huntsville.
All right, 16 minutes. I got plenty of time to give my speech. Now, I'm not going to limit my speech because I don't want you guys to like get tired, get upset. Right? So what are we going to do out here today?
PRs.
Losing. Cheat.
I want to hear
Winning. All right, look at me. The reason I'm out here in this suit clean as hell is because y'all are racing. I came out here, I dressed nice. I went home from work and dressed nice because I want to see y'all win today. I didn't come out here in a suit to see y'all lose. That's not what happens, is it? Do we lose?
No. Absolutely not.
Good, boys. All right. Now, before I get going, who's going to lead the chant today? Who wants that honor? Nope.
All right, I'll do it.
Guys, obviously.
I
will step up gladly and try to take
captain. Will do.
No, we can't do the chant yet.
No, not yet. I want to know who's going to do it whenever I go. Because I can't be here. I gotta get film of y'all. I gotta get all the footage of y'all. Because I want to see action shots of Oscar. I want to see action shots of Caleb. I want to see action shots of Eric, Jacob, Conrado. Bro, something. All right, hold on. You're bro now. Got it? All right.
First 3 letters. Bro, con.
Cheer for you to win. See, Caleb right here is the Titan to beat today. Eric's gunning for Caleb. You're gunning for Caleb. Caleb's gunning for top spot. This man right here, this is who you gotta beat. Conrado, that applies to you. 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 And that doesn't mean that Caleb's gonna let y'all have it. That's the whole wonder of it. He's gonna be up there running his fastest. Now you know what? I'm taking up too much of y'all time. Are y'all ready? Let's go! There we go, boys. All right. Get back to stretching.
We never figured out who's leading the chant, Gary.
You are Bob Jones.
And in first place, finishing top 5 runs, 1, 3, 4, 6, and 7 with 21 points. Give it up for Bob Jones High School. Hey. I guess Gary's the one in the suit. Okay. So I want to know, Gary, did you run in that suit tonight?
Yep.
No? Okay. If you had done that, you would have been like my instant hero for life. Because that would have been some instant like wonder swag there.
Gary, 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 Gary.
Breathe in the cool autumn air. And thankfully, there's no race this week, although this rest is a one-time thing this season. So, take the time to relax and appreciate the break you get. Appreciate the weather through the screen that you can't, there's a car coming. Okay, it's not turning here. Forget that part. I'm just gonna head back.
How are you doing today, Gary?
They got fair warning. So for him. I'm ready.
I gave you fair warning. Beware.
Beware.
Up next is Guntersville, a team favorite for its ideal weather and track design. Much like Pisgah, the downhills are plentiful and the uphills are gradual. The overall team average has started to plateau and the season is starting to come to an end.
He won't even get close to my PR. Well, then go.
Is that a promise, Nick?
Oh yeah. Promise I'll keep.
Kind of crazy out
because the punishment for the promise isn't exactly that good. Then again, he also.
What is the punishment?
No, he can explain. And
why can't you, huh?
Because I'm too tired to explain anything.
But you're not too tired to run, are you?
No, I still have, what is that? An hour and a half before my race. I can
Well,
take
then
a
you're
nap.
not tired enough to explain to me what the problem
I
is.
can take a nap between that.
Tell me, boy. What is
Negative. Negative, sir.
You will tell me.
No.
Yes, you will.
No.
Tell me!
After Gunnersville, it's Palmer Park. At least for some of the athletes it is.
Let's give me your thoughts on the 2 mile right now.
Solid.
Solid.
Solid. The 5K, no.
This is probably the worst course I've ever ran on in my entire life. But
What he said. What he said.
After Palmer is the Randolph meet at John Hunt Park once again, and not all athletes are required to do both. Since the common consensus is that these two meets were just build up for sectionals, there's not too much to discuss. The races are starting to feel very similar to each other, but hopefully that'll change with our next meet, the JV Championships at Scottsboro once again. Unlike the previous two meets, the stakes are measurably higher for this race. Only the top 10 runners get to race the sectionals and state, so for many runners, this is their last race of the season. Fortunately, triumph prevails as Bob Jones collectively wins in first place.
And your champions today with a perfect score of 15, Huntsville High School.
Well, that was an accident. Something in the script must have been messed up. There's no way. Again? It's not possible.
Hey, Nate, buddy, what? Hey, Nate,
Nate,
what are you? Nate, calm down, buddy.
Every year.
Nate, what are you? Nate, stop it! Buddy, Nate.
They never lose.
Nate.
They never lose.
Nate, Nate.
Second, you know why? Because Huntsville is always.
Nate, buddy. We can talk about this, okay?
We can't talk about it. You know why? Because there's no point. There's no point. It's just over with. What are you doing? I hate cross country. I quit. I'm going back to the porta potty. I don't care.
Nate.
Leave me alone.
No.
Hey guys, sorry about that. Nate was arrested for vehicular manslaughter after our first incident. So he'll be back in about 10 minutes. Until then, I'm your new host, Wade, and let me show you a few things. Alright, so now, as you can see, this is our pile of what may look like trash, but to us, this is every piece of adventure that we've had. See, between this cone, this fan, this hubcap, this is our treasure. This is the stuff we find on runs, and we bring ourselves together as a team to carry it back. See, when you look at a cross-country runner, you think of someone that actually might look like this, you know, not very strong, like a stick, right? So, with that being said, yes, that might be true. Will we speak on that? No, we're gonna skip that part. But that just shows that sometimes we have to pass along the object along the run because our arms get tired. So, we'll start out normally with the strongest person, who can carry it the longest, and then we'll slowly pass it down to the weakest, and then start back up with the strongest. Just kind of like, think of an Indian run, how you switch out for the first, you're switching out who carries the item. Now, when we get items such as TVs, which, well, we can't show you those right now. Those are locked up. But, when we get the items such as TVs, there'll be multiple of us on a TV. And then we'll carry it back. And if we get tired, that's too bad. You have to carry it anyways. There's no one to trade out with you. Welcome to the Bob Jones High School boys bathroom, in particular the one that the cross-country guys use the most. Now we're about to go into something I like to call the Twilight Zone, so if you just follow me this way. Now, let me just hang my coat for the indoors. So, first off, I'm going to show you the trash can right here. So, there has been all sorts of
absolutely nothing that you wouldn't expect.
Anything really. Various other items that I do not want to list. There's the occasional paper towels in here, but normally it's out because this thing right here never gets restocked, okay? Now this right here, if you look up here, this is the air dispenser, but it has run out and it just dispenses, well, nothing. So the room smells absolutely horrible, especially in the summer, and because the heat never stops. So it just gets hotter and hotter and the smell gets worse and worse. Now, you can see that both soap dispensers are gone. And that is due to someone in particular we like to refer to as okay? So next, if you look at our sinks, right, and there has been
absolutely nothing that you wouldn't expect.
We have our very cold sinks. Now, because there's normally no toilet paper or paper towels to dry our hands, what we do is we just wet our hands, go outside and let them air dry. And in the winter, they get very chapped and they hurt. Now, we come over here, you can see that the big urinal has been ripped off. Now this hole right here, I cannot specify what that is used for. Now, there is someone named right, that has used this hole on the occasion. What for? I will not specify. I'm just gonna move this man out of the way. Thank you, Sam. This is our small urinal. This is the only active urinal and it's in the corner. So you have to be careful when you use it because the back turn is your back is turned to everyone else in here. Thank you, Sam. Now, as you probably look down at the ground, right, if you can see it, the floor is very discolored, and that's actually because the paint is chipping away. And if you see the trail, right, it looks like it's a trail leading right to the drain. That's because
this section of his monologue has been removed because, well, there's simply nothing to discuss. Seriously, we're not going to tell you what he's saying. You can go ahead and skip ahead like 10 seconds. It's just me. Yeah, I don't really know why you're still listening. It's not here. Sorry.
So when the paint chips away, it's okay. Just makes the floor a little bit more soft. This corner is the infamous corner where Gary. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what happened to Gary? Well, he got beat. Now, if you come in here, you'll see this is our toilet that we use. This is our toilet paper that is sometimes stocked, sometimes not. So, are there some? Yes, there are some. Now, this is my fellow Luke. Now, these stall walls have been replaced 3 different times in the time that I've been here since 7th grade, and that is on and off because of. We like to do something called rough the monkeys. So, while someone is when someone is doing their business in the bathroom, you take the walls and you shake as violently as you can, making as much noise as possible, roughing the monkeys. Okay, now, the mountain exists to be conquered. Well, if you come with me, and Matthew might be able to show you, but if you look over yonder, through the trees and up towards the horizon, you will see what looks to be a mountain. And that mountain is 3 miles away, or the top of it is at least. So what do? We run from here to the top of that mountain where you can maybe see those 2 telephone poles and the water tower. That is what we run to and back.
So the Rainbow Run, you run up to Discovery Middle School, then you turn right onto a pretty long hill.
Then you run about 4 miles all the way up to Rainbow, then all the way back down, and then you take the mile back to get to Bob Jones. It's a hard workout, but I surprisingly have learned to like the workout. The more you do it, the better you get at it, and it's rewarding.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
I mean, it's either a 9 or 10.
Wonderful place to run.
It exists to be conquered. It'll heal you if you let it. I think you should have at least a weekly dose of it and call me in the morning, after you take your dose of it. So but once you get used to that, it'll definitely help your lactic threshold and your maximize your VO2. You just have to be careful going down it rather than up, because sometimes it's easier to go up a mountain than it is to come back down again. But it's good to taste a rainbow every so often.
Alright, and the day is here. It's time for sectionals. The team's been pulled out of school early. It's a Thursday afternoon. And what you're about to see is Coach Matt giving us his pep talk.
This is it. And this is a perfect time to have all 10 of you here, okay?
Yes, sir.
I mean,
Yes,
seriously.
sir.
Hey, I feel good today, I promise you. I don't know if it's shots in the butt or what, but I feel good. I feel good about all this thing. Hey, just do your best. Everything comes to place, okay? Perfect time. You guys are great. I love you all. Thank you so much for being a part of this team. And seniors, what do you have to say about this? This is your last section.
All I gotta say is
Let's go, man.
This is it, guys. Hey,
all I gotta say
leave it out there. This is the beginning of the death of me. So we die here together.
All right.
Let's go, boys. Yeah.
Let's bang, boys. Let's go. Our Father in heaven, we're very grateful for the opportunity that we have to race today, and we're thankful for the wonderful season that we've had. Please bless as we race today that we'll be able to do our best, and that we'll all be able to stay safe from injury. And in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ, we leave this. Amen.
Amen. Amen, Amen guys. Believe, believe, believe. Hey, we own this. We belong. We belong. Come on, guys.
This race is where it really matters. If we want to make it to state, we've got to make top 3 in section, or a few of our runners can wild card, but we want the whole team to go. So, with some music that you guys know all so well, here's what Sectionals was like. Those fucking how do they do it? How? What do they got? World-class athletes? What do they got? World-class trainers? How the do they do it? What the
Hey, sorry about that. After a brief run-in with the MPD and a cozy night at the Madison City jailhouse, I'm back. Unfortunately, Wade was also arrested for vehicular manslaughter, which seems to be a common occurrence for some reason, but I digress. Fortunately, I'll be back for the rest of the documentary, taking his place, and I hope you enjoy. Now, Huntsville sitting at the top may be discouraging, but if we just look down a little, we've still made it to state. The only thing that now stands between Bob Jones and second place, hopefully, is this final race at Chickasaw, which happens to be the final race of the 2021 cross-country season. This will be the culmination of everybody's hard work, all put toward a race the team knows inside and out. This is the race everybody's been waiting for, and this is the race with the most on the line. And so, they set off.
Hey, we finished 9th. Top 10 finish ain't too bad. I wonder who got first. Anyways, in the spirit of keeping this documentary professional, I congratulate Huntsville High on their winning of the AHSAA 2021 Cross Country Championship. I'm your host, Nate Bryan. Thank you for watching. We're done. Cut. Yep. Friggin' hate Huntsville.